Welcome to the Buccaneers Observer Podcast. This is Ralph Phillips.
Molly Bay.
What a horrible, horrible Monday.
I don't even want to talk about it.
I know. Molly has been so depressed. She hasn't left the couch. She called in sick from work today.
No.
I hope they don't see this podcast. Well, you are sick. I'm sick to death.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, what a miserable experience that was. It's the first time in a long time that you actually fell asleep.
I did, because
Yeah.
I was like, I don't want to watch this crap.
I ended up playing with the kids, and normally I'm Mr.
Don't talk to me.
Yeah, don't get out of my sight. I'm watching football, and now I'm like, please come comfort me, children. It was bad, man. It was really, really bad.
Oh gosh, what is there even to say?
There's actually a lot to say.
Okay, all right,
It's going to start with that sucked, and it's going to end with that was horrible. It's just going to be an hour of us talking about the atrociousness that we witnessed on Raymond James Stadium field. What is up, Buccaneers? What is up with that? What happened?
What the hell happened? I can't tell you. I don't know. I have no answers or ideas. Or it was, Ghost Ralph floating around.
I'm digging this new technology.
You have like space behind you or something.
When I was growing up, we had a stick and a hoop. Yeah. I got a what behind me?
You need like space behind you or something.
Yeah. Anything to distract from talking about this miserable game.
Mm-hmm.
The game was really bad. We had such high expectations. Everybody across the board. Everybody.
I at least thought it would be competitive. But it was like from the get-go, it fucking sucked.
Yeah.
Like immediately.
Literally from the get-go. Three and out, and then boom, they scored.
Yeah. And it didn't stop. I mean, they were up 31-zip by the half, and we closed. I mean, second half, they scored a touchdown, and we scored a field goal, and that was it.
Yeah. And they showed a little bit of mercy on us there towards the end.
Right. Except for, did you see the videos of Jameis Winston eating the W?
Oh, yeah. Hey,
I thought I would never have to watch him do that again. I thought with all the ridicule he got the first time he did it, which I always hated it. Anytime anyone posted that
goofy.
GIF,
He's
it was
goofy.
so weird. It's just gross. It was weird and gross. And then he just thought it was a good idea to do it again. And
yeah, well, I'm fine with it because I'm a firm believer in when you beat somebody like that, you just rub it in their face. I don't want to see it, especially don't want to see it with us, but I'm fine with them doing it. The thing with Jameis is he didn't do anything. I mean, he's out there acting like, he just won the Super Bowl. He threw one pass for 12 yards. That's it. He didn't do anything. It was the team that's been kicking his butt for 5 years.
So
what?
It wasn't an interception. So I mean, let him have that W.
Yeah, he could have it, man. He earned his what was he getting $1 million this year? He earned his $1 million right there. It's fine with me. I don't have a problem with it. That's the kind of thing I enjoy about sports. You win some, you lose some, and the winner gets to act a fool. So.
Come on, we're not dicks like that.
We should be. I am. I rub it in people's faces all the time. I went out today. Now after the game, actually probably about halftime, I was like, all right, that's it. I'm not wearing any Buccaneers gear this week at all. I'm not even going to leave the house probably. But no, you know what? Today I got up. I was still wearing my Buccaneers gear from yesterday. And I went to the store and I walked around and I was looking people in the eye. I was like, say something. Please say something. Nobody did. It's probably because I went to the drugstore. It was a bunch of old ladies.
Say something, Bethel. Come at me.
I can take old ladies. That's it. Children and old ladies, man. Those are my go-to beat ups, man. Do that stuff all day long. Got no fear against them. What do we say about this game? I'm going to say we played really flat. Now, anybody could look at that and say it.
Did we have a game plan?
It's the same game we're playing. We always have. I don't understand what, the Tampa Bay fan. One of the reasons why we started doing this podcast and, doing the game film and stuff like that is because, we hear a lot of stuff, especially from the media. It's generally the media, but you hear a lot of stuff and you go, what are they talking about? Now, Bruce Arians and Todd Bowles, they do not game plan for teams. For individual teams. They game plan for their game. And they expect you to beat them at their game. And that's what happened yesterday. But we don't make adjustments. Bruce Arians has never been an adjustment player. He's got his style, and he's going to go out there and he's going to do it. Now, Bruce Arians is a passing guy. Bruce Arians is a down-the-field passer. Bruce Arians will adjust of one or two ways. He will either pass more or he will run more, and 90% of the times he's going to pass more. That's the only adjustment you're going to get out of Bruce Arians and Leftwich and all that.
We did make an adjustment last night. We completely abandoned the run.
Right. That's how Bruce Arians adjusts. He's like, I need to pass more. That's it.
Pass 100% of the time.
Right.
We had 8 yards.
8 yards on 6 rushes attempts, I think. Was it?
5.
I think we had 5. Okay, that broke the NFL record. 6 was the record. 6. We had 4 at one point. And you know what it was? I bet that 5th one was the kneel down at the end of the game.
Yeah.
Yep. They're going to count that as a rush. See, stats. Oh, God, I hate them. Don't hate them. They're a tool. But, yeah. So, don't count on any of us. We don't adjust. It's just not going to happen. It's not how our and Todd Bowles is the same way. He knows what he's going to do before he goes into the game, and he's not going to change it. It's just how it is. Get over it. We had, so much stuff. The media, they're horrible. They're absolutely horrible. They talked about zone coverages. And I saw a lot of fans talk about that too. And I don't know if it was because Chris Collinsworth said it on TV or whatever.
No one listened to him except to make fun of him. Okay. That's the rule.
Pro Football Focus.
He's awful.
He is a part owner of Pro Football Focus. Majority owner, by the way. So take that with a grain of salt every time you hear him and that station talk about Pro Football Focus. The zone coverage we ran, the defense we ran last night, is it pretty much the same defense we've been running the past 3 games. We didn't do anything different. We didn't do anything spectacular. We didn't adjust. We didn't, it wasn't like we were running zone or soft coverage. I mean, we ran man coverage. Because we do everything on that defense. We do everything. We're constantly disguising. We're really good at it. So it looks one way to start off with, and post snap changes. Is that you never know what the defense is going to do, especially the front 7. You have no clue what they're going to do. And we ran the same stuff we've been running the past 3 games. Now the reason why I say the past 3 games, because what we have done is we have stopped putting our outside linebackers in coverage as much. That's really the only difference.
A lot of good it did us.
Yeah, well, and that was been in the past 3 games. And we're still doing it, but just not as much. Before we were doing it like 1 out of every 5 passing plays. Now we're doing it 1 out of every 10. So.
Greg Allman tweeted that they switched Jamel Dean and Sean Murphy-Bunting in the last few games, and it's not going well.
Switched them what? Their position?
Yeah.
I ain't seen it. I mean, we do so much stuff on this defense that you can't really say this is normal, because we don't do anything consistent on this defense as far as, the safeties come down, safeties play in the box. Safeties will come down and play flat zone coverage sometimes. Safeties will come down and do man coverage. Safeties sometimes will, do cover 2 shells, they'll cover 3. We do everything. We switch guys up, like we switch JPP will be on the left outside linebacker. And then sometimes he'll be a right outside linebacker. Sometimes he'll be a middle linebacker. Sometimes he'll be a defensive tackle. That goes with all the guys out there. Dominican Sue has lined up on outside linebacker position. Dominican Sue has gone out in coverage. Vita Vea has gone out in coverage. I mean, we just do a lot of stuff on this defense. It didn't work. It didn't work Sunday. But for everybody to say we played zone coverage, we didn't play zone coverage. We played zone coverage sometimes. We played man coverage sometimes. We disguised it a lot. And, sometimes it would look like zone coverage, and it wasn't. It was man coverage. Sometimes it looked like man coverage, and it wasn't. It was zone coverage. Sometimes it was half man coverage on one side of the field, half zone on the other. I'm telling you, we do so much stuff. Nobody on the planet can look at our defense at the snap of the ball and tell you what that defense is going to end up doing. Nobody could do it. I'm telling you this. Nobody could do it. It's impossible. Quarterbacks can't do it. The guys in the booth can't do it. The only people that know what that defense is doing are the guys out there on the field. Sometimes they don't know, it seems like. But
occasionally.
The only people that know what the defense is supposed to be doing is the coach and the players. Other than that, anybody that tells you this is what this defense is doing, they don't know. You can look at, I'm telling you, I have watched hundreds of plays on this defense, and every time I will stop it before the ball is snapped, and I'll look at it and I go, okay, here's what they're going to do. Here's what I think they're going to do. Here's what it looks like they're going to do. And 90% of the time, I'm completely wrong. They do something totally different. That's how this defense is designed. Our offense is, we run the Air Coryell offense where, receivers don't have set routes for the most part a lot of the times. I mean, when I say this stuff, all teams play just about all different types of stuff, West Coast offenses, guys, they throw deep sometimes, Air Coryell guys, sometimes they throw dink and dunks. It's just when you say that, when you say a defense plays cover two, they're a cover two defense, that means they play cover two about 30% of the time. They play a bunch of other stuff. Our defense is very strange, very, very different than most defenses out there. It's an extreme hybrid of all kinds of stuff. And it's worked for us generally. I mean, we are 6-3. Let's not forget that. We are 6-3.
I think the issue is we did not look like a 6-3 team last night.
No, we didn't look like a 6-3 team against the Giants, and
I know, yeah. So it kind of makes the Giants game make a little more sense.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, is this a collapse? I don't know. I would like to think not.
Yeah,
but we've seen so many of these.
I'm with you on that.
I'm just a little scared. I'm scared. We got Carolina this week, and
I ain't worried about Carolina at all.
Well, I wasn't really worried about the Saints like this, so
yeah. Hey, it happens, man. It happens. It's gonna happen.
Yeah, I think people were tweeting out that the Super Bowl team had like a blowout that year.
Yeah, 45-0 against John Gruden.
Right,
he stomped us. I can't remember if it was the Super Bowl year or the year before the Super Bowl.
Year before, if John Gruden was there.
Yeah,
be the year before.
Yeah. So. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, they 45-0. It was a humiliating. And we ended up going to the NFC Championship.
Right.
So, we are not by far not done. Now, there is a possibility the team could implode. That could always happen. I don't see it happening, but it could happen. It's always any team could do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, BA was saying that like Mike Evans, he was open a lot. I thought that Antonio Brown had a pretty decent showing.
Yeah.
I was pretty satisfied with that. I thought Leonard Fournette was doing pretty well. They were dumping it off to him on the outside, which he wasn't. Is basically getting hit as soon as he caught the ball, but he managed to make the most of those opportunities, like falling forward through 3 yards. Yeah,
and Ronald Jones, the first 2 runs he had were great. And he picked up like 8-9 yards.
I know, and so I thought that we did. I mean, there were drives that we had where we were able to move it down the field, and there were some really good catches and plays, and then they'd end in an interception or, so just a little frustrating, disheartening.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh no, it was very, very frustrating because we had high expectations, and like I was saying, nobody, not a single person, even Saints fans, thought we were going to win this game. Everybody did. All across the board, nationwide, all the pundits, all the talking heads, all the analysts. And like I said, Saints fans were like, yeah, y'all are going to beat the mess out of us. This was a surprise to everybody. I think it was a surprise to the Buccaneers. I think it was a surprise to the Saints.
Yeah.
You know?
At least make it competitive. Like, I don't care if you're going to lose. Just don't get your ass handed to you.
Right. Like we talk about all the time. This is a sport. It's entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, a lot of us take it a little too personally. Molly.
What?
And she has literally been laying on the couch all day.
You know, the kid's sick, so I'm coming down with something, I think.
You're coming down with a case and you
got the germs
butt whoop
too.
Sunday. So, you know, it is entertainment, and we got to remember that. And we, you know, winning is nice, losing sucks, but you want to see a good game. Just last night was not a good game. The only people on the planet that thought that last night was a good game were Saints fans. That was it. Everybody else, most people turned off at the halftime. You know, it just wasn't a good game.
I didn't even want to watch it after halftime.
No, you didn't. You fell asleep.
Yeah, I fell asleep.
Yeah. So, you know, it was just crappy all the way around. It was crappy for the fans. It was crappy for non-fans. It was crappy for football fans. You know, the announcers were just sitting there going, "Man, this is just..."
Yeah, at one point, Al Michaels even said, "Well, we thought this was going to be a good game."
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Everybody did. Everybody, you know, everybody thought, you know, maybe New Orleans would give us a fight, but everybody thought Buccaneers were going to win.
What stood out to me was the tackling on both sides of the ball. For the Buccaneers, it was like we could not slip through a tackle to save our lives. Like particularly with like Leonard Fournette, like he got caught by the ankle so many times and was down. And then on the other side of the ball, the Bucs defense, I felt like they were slipping through tackles every play. It was like, you know, the runner would be shooting through the defensive line, you know, getting to the second level almost every time. Devin White led the team in tackles. He almost doubled the person underneath of him. Let me see. He had 14 total tackles. The next highest was Jordan Whitehead with 8. So he had 6 more tackles than anybody else on the team. And, you know, you thought maybe the weather, like they said it was cold or it was windy and rainy.
Yeah, it was very windy and rainy.
So maybe they're just slippery, but it didn't seem to affect the Saints at all. And, you know, they play in a dome. They're not used to playing in the weather. So that was frustrating. And I thought a really sloppy showing by the Buccaneers defense.
Oh, yeah. It was sloppy by everybody. But we did watch the game again today, and, of course, you know, what didn't seem as bad the second time around. And
I did take note of the more, like, productive drives this time around, but it was still shit for the most part.
Tell us how you feel,
I
Molly.
mean, am I lying? It's upsetting.
We'll get into the game a little bit more here in a second. I want to still talk about our offense and the media and the perception and all that good stuff. So our offense, like I was saying, is, you know, the Air Coryell, we have a lot of vertical routes, kind of like Cutter did. You know, Cutter, to be honest with you, I enjoyed Cutter's offense a little bit more. He designed routes to get players open better. But, you know, Arians' stuff or left witches, whoever's it is, you know, just really, it's kind of bland, but it's designed to get guys the ball, you know, because it's really based on how the defense is. It's one of the reasons why they don't do adjustments, is because their offense is set up to beat any defense out there, because they, you know, a lot of the receivers a lot of the times don't even know what their route's going to be until the ball is snapped. You know, they know they're supposed to go in this direction, but then they make a cut depending on how the defense is when they get there. So there's really no adjustments they can make, you know, in this offense, you know, because it's designed to adjust on the fly. Now, you talked about Mike Evans was open. Rick Stroud had tweeted out today a video from a fan who somehow got some all-22 footage. I don't know how he did that, because it's not out for us plebes yet.
Ralph's like, tell me.
I know. I'm like, I want that. I'm dying to see this mess. But it showed Mike Evans wide open going down the middle of the field. And Rick Stroud retweeted it, and he said, TB12 needs to see this. It's a potential touchdown. Now, if you watch my videos, if you've been watching it over the years, I'm a stickler for this. I look out for it on every play with both our opponents and us, to see how often receivers get open and quarterbacks do not see them. I really wanted to scream when I saw that, and I saw Rick Stroud do that, because I'm like, this happens a lot. Let's not act like this is the reason why we lost the game. It happened. I think I pointed it out 3 or 4 times in last week's game. It happens quite frequently, and Jameis Winston was atrocious at it. I mean, he would constantly not see wide open guys, and then Tom Brady is, I wouldn't say as bad, but he's up there. So, for them to act like this is a shock, like, oh my gosh, here's Mike Evans running down the field wide open. And even now on this play, if I was doing it on the game review, I might would have marked it down, but I probably wouldn't have, because what they weren't seeing is that Tom Brady stepped back. He already knew who he was going to throw to before the ball was snapped, pretty much. And he stepped back. He never looked over there, and he was already in his throwing motion when Mike Evans got open.
So it wasn't going to happen.
Well, once a quarterback goes into his throwing motion, the defense adjusts. They see it. Safeties start moving in directions. Linebackers. So you can't. It totally nullifies a receiver getting open, because the defense is adjusted to where the ball's getting ready to go. Mm-hmm. Now, if a quarterback is known to double pump, which very few quarterbacks do anymore, which drives me crazy, then you could say, okay, now they could have taken advantage of this receiver that got open because the defense shifted because they thought the ball was going over here. But that doesn't happen with Tom Brady. So when he goes into his throwing motion, that's where the ball's going to go. And the defense knows that, so they adjust, they move. There was a safety over the top of Mike Evans when he shot out, and looked like he was getting ready to be open. There was a linebacker right beside him. They were both looking at Tom Brady. The safety was coming over to Mike Evans. When Tom Brady started going in his throwing motion, they both left Mike Evans and started moving towards where the thing was going.
Okay.
So that's why I probably would not have counted that as an open receiver, because you can see Tom Brady's already going into his throwing motion, and it changes the defense. Of course, there's going to be receivers open when the rest of the defense doesn't care, because they know where the ball's going to go.
Mm-hmm.
But, you can still say, well, it would have been a better throw, and it probably would have. But then again, it could have been an interception, because that safety could have shot down and got him. I think I pointed out some better ones last week where guys were wide open. So, for the media to be acting like this is an issue, that's why we lost this game. It's like, wait, that's because you don't watch the games. This happens all the time. That's not the reason why we lost this game. And I want to say this. If he would have thrown it to Mike Evans, there's no guarantee Mike Evans would have caught it, because Mike Evans dropped a couple balls. He dropped a touchdown. That touchdown with Lattimore. Lattimore didn't touch that ball. It hit Mike Evans' hand, ricocheted off his hand, and hit him in the face.
And Mike was still our leading receiver.
Right, yeah. Oh, and on that play with the touchdown with Lattimore was holding him. Lattimore had him by the jersey right in the opening where at the neck. Mm-hmm. So he was pulling on his pads, and you can see Mike after the thing. He goes up to the refs, and he was
he was screaming for a flag.
Yeah, no, Lattimore had him the whole time as he was jumping in the air, and he was pulling.
I think there were a couple like that I saw.
Oh yeah, there was one where you could hear the Buccaneers screaming from the sideline, holding. It was I want to say it was either Taysom Hill or Kamara was running towards the left, and Levante David had him dead to rights, and I think it was the left tackle or the tight end, whoever was blocking David, just grabbed hold of him and pulled him back, and they ended up getting like 15-yard run or something. It was very frustrating. Now, week 1, the New Orleans Saints held like crazy. I think I counted 19 uncalled holds that the refs just totally didn't, and 2 of their touchdowns were completely dependent on holds. There was one touchdown where Kamara went in untouched on the left side, and there was 5 penalties on that play I counted, or 4 that were not called. It's crazy, and that might happen on this again, where I look at the game film and I'm just like, what? They're getting held all over the place.
Well, the first game we both had like 100 penalty yards. This game, they had 3 penalties for 28 yards. We had 5 for 39 yards.
Right. And remember when Chicago, where we had all those penalties and everybody was like, we're the most penalized team and all that. And I argue against it because I like to be contrary. I was like, it doesn't matter. Penalties don't really matter. It's kind of a false stat because all penalties aren't the same. And, teams that are winning in the league are also high penalty teams, and teams that are, the least penalized teams in the league are down at the bottom sometimes, so, it just really doesn't matter. It's very situational. And this is the exact same thing. We had 5 penalties. We had more penalties than them, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We had 3 for 28 yards. We had 5 for 39 yards. Only one of those penalties happened in the first half for both teams.
Really?
Yeah. So they were up 31-0, and we had 1 penalty.
Huh.
Yeah.
So clearly it did not have an impact on the game.
It had no impact whatsoever in this game. We had, we had 3 penalties basically back-to-back for offsides, which are neutral zone infraction, whatever it's called, which I'm going to look into that. I'm sure they moved. Drew Brees got us a couple times last.
He's so good at that.
Yeah.
Well, these veterans are, like Aaron Rodgers. He's really good at that, too.
Yeah, they're cheaters. They are. And then we had the intentional grounding penalty on Brady. Man, that drives me crazy. If you listen to this podcast, I can't stand intentional grounding penalties. They either need to be consistent when they call them or just get rid of the damn things. The intent of the intentional grounding penalty is so that a quarterback doesn't get, where he doesn't just throw the ball in the dirt when he's getting sacked. That's the whole intent of intentional grounding. If you watch, Drew Brees does it all the time. Drew Brees will be in the grasp of a player, falling to the ground, and he'll just throw it straight in the dirt, but he'll throw it at somebody's feet. So, it's cheating. It's getting around. It's technically not intentional grounding because you threw it near somebody, who was an eligible receiver, but it's obvious you weren't trying to get it to him. You were throwing it in the dirt. You were doing the exact intent of the rule. And
they report their lineman as eligible quite frequently, so they can always have that argument.
Yeah. And there was a couple of plays like that Drew Brees did. It drives me crazy. He's the absolute worst at it.
Or best at it.
Yeah,
whichever.
He's best at it, but it's worse as far as, because it is the intention of the rule is to keep that from happening. He's doing it. He's technically within bounds of the rule, but he's going against the whole intention of the rule.
This is the only time in Ralph's life he has ever cared about rules.
And then,
the letter of the law.
But then later in the game, Tom Brady gets, he's getting pressured. He's in the pocket and he wings it down the field. It goes 30 yards downfield, 40 yards downfield, whatever. And they get him for intentional grounding. But there was a guy in the area. There was a Buccaneer running down the sidelines. The guy was 10 yards away, 15 yards away, or whatever, and the ball was basically uncatchable because it went out of bounds. But that doesn't matter. There was a guy in the area. So, these rules are so subjective, and it drives me nuts. But not that it mattered. We were going to lose anyhow. So, anyhow, what I'm saying is those penalties meant absolutely nothing. All of them. Not a single one of them was the reason why we lost this game. Mike Evans being open and Drew Brady's not seeing him was not the reason why we lost the game. Now, if Mike Evans would have caught that touchdown that bounced off his face, or if the refs would have called the penalty on Lattimore for pass interference, then that's a different story. Those were big penalties, uncalled penalties, and that was a big drop by Mike Evans. Can't believe it hit him right in the face.
I feel like there were a couple like that, and especially from a few different receivers, not necessarily like bouncing off the face, but like there was the diving catch with Gronk went right through his hands.
Yeah, he should have had that. I mean, that is a staple play between him and Brady that they've run a million times. They had success on a million times. And it looked like he slowed down right after Tom Brady threw the ball. I don't know if he lost the ball or whatever, but he seemed like he slowed down, and then he kind of had to hurry up, and then he stretched out for it, and it went right through his hands. Chris Godwin dropped the ball for a first down right in his hands. Boom, right in his hands. Fell out. I don't think they dropped the ball all night. Not sure. The Saints, I can't remember them dropping a ball. They might have, but I do not remember it. They brought their A game. We brought our C game.
Let me tell you the most striking stat I've seen from this game. The time of possession was 40 minutes and 4 seconds to 19 minutes and 56 seconds. I have never seen a game so lopsided.
Yeah.
Ever. And you almost can't blame the defense because the offense couldn't stay on the field.
No. 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out. We didn't get our first down until 11 minutes and 6 seconds in the second quarter. And
so
we
that
had
whole first
we had 1, 2,
quarter.
3, 5 possessions at that point. 5 3 and outs or turnover. Whatever. It was horrible.
I mean, the defense did allow 31 points in the first half.
Yeah, no.
So you're like, I don't know if you can really say the time of possession was that they were tired at that point.
Right. Well, a lot of the reason why the defense had the defense gave up 31 points is because they had horrible field position the whole time.
Yeah.
I mean, the defense had to immediately from the first time they went out on the field, they had to defend a short field. I think they got it on the 35.
Oh, I can think
punted.
of one return where it went to Deontay Harris and Ryan Smith just plowed right past him, like slid 10 yards past him. I don't know if he was pushed or fell or whatever it was, but then Deontay Harris picked up another 15 yards after that. Like he was right there. That guy got away from him.
Yeah.
Might have been a good juke move. I don't know.
That guy's good, man.
Yeah.
The secondary, I've been bringing this up for the past couple of weeks. The secondary has not been playing on point like they have at the beginning of the year.
Mm-hmm.
And it looked like that was kind of the same situation here. Now, the Saints definitely picked on our linebackers in coverage. There's no doubt about that. I mean, I counted 3 passes on Devin White in the first 2 New Orleans possessions. They were just hitting our linebackers the whole game. But also, it seemed like our secondary was really screwing up in coverage. Now, last week, they had, like I said, more breakdowns in coverage than I think I've seen all year long combined. Not until we see the all 22 are we going to be able to say definitively whether they really screwed up as bad as I think they did. But I think they've really messed up. They a little confused out there or something. So, yeah, nobody really had a good game.
No.
Nobody.
JPP had a near interception.
Yeah.
Went right through his hands.
2 fingers short.
I know.
But yeah, we had horrible field position, or they had great field position. It was like the whole game.
Yeah.
I mean, they just kept getting, but
there was that turnover on the 1 yard line, and then we couldn't even punch it in at that point. They get the ball back at the 1 or 3 or wherever it was.
Well, we got the ball.
Yeah, we punted it. They get it back at the 35. So
right.
It was basically a 20-yard penalty.
Yes, and we took off 10 seconds off the clock.
Yeah.
It was so horrible,
it was
miserable.
You can't do that. And then, how many 4 and outs did we have? We had quite a few. 4 or 5 maybe.
3 and outs or 4 and outs?
4 and outs.
Yeah, 3 that I can recall.
It's you can't.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think we converted a single 4th down.
I know.
And then the 1 4th down that they converted, I don't think that he got that ball. I don't think he went across the line.
Yeah, and BA challenged that, and I disagree with the challenge because there's just no. I mean, those are so ticky-tacky. It's 4th and inches. It's a waste of a challenge, if you ask me.
Yeah. Once unless you can say he definitely didn't, but I don't think he did. It looked to me like we got good push on that, and I think it was Nacho came around and grabbed him from behind and was pulling on him. I don't think he crossed the line, but whatever.
There's never going to be enough to overturn those.
Yeah, it had to be extremely clear and convincing evidence. But we are. We're on the 1 yard line. This is the first time all year long that we've been in the red zone and didn't score points.
I know.
And here we are on the 1 yard line. We've got
streak.
4 attempts. We tried 4 times from the 1 and didn't get it. It's like, wow, come on.
How do you do that? You can't win like that, guys.
No. I don't think this is something that's going to continue going forward. I honestly don't. I think this was an anomaly, a glitch in the system, kind of where everybody just had a bad game all at the same time.
That'll happen.
Yeah, it'll happen. And I also think this is something I've been concerned about. There's a thing in sociology or psychology, I don't know what you want to call it, sociology when I went to college, where, what's the name of it? Where if you're on a team, any type of team, they do it with like tug of war and office settings and stuff like that. Individually, you will not work as hard as you will when you're alone because you feel like you've always got somebody there to help, to take up your slack. There's a term for it, and it's driving me crazy that I can't remember the name of this. And that's something I've worried about with this team in the past couple of weeks, because they've got Tom Brady. Everybody's been talking about our defense is awesome. Our secondary is great. Our cornerbacks are listed 1 and 2 and all that good stuff. Our run game is, run defense is ferocious and all that. I think everybody's just kind of slacked off because the front 7 are thinking, oh, well, it's no big deal if we get a lot of pressure because our cornerbacks are good enough to take up the slack. Mm-hmm. The wide receivers are thinking, it's no big deal if I drop this ball because, Gronk can catch it next time or Mike Evans can, whatever. It's just nobody has that sense of urgency. I felt like it slipped about 3 weeks ago where it seems like everybody's kind of going, well, it's no big deal if I screw up. The rest of the team's still good, So that might be an issue where they're reading their own press clippings and they're thinking, hey, I don't have to work as hard because the rest of the team can, pull up my slack.
Yeah, and BA's been talking about that basically since training camp. He said they've been reading their own headlines.
Yeah.
They already won the Super Bowl.
Maybe that's where I got all this
Maybe.
from. I'm just paraphrasing.
But I hope
Bruce.
not. Yeah, maybe it was like the Green Bay game. Maybe that's where it started.
Yeah, it might be. They kind of got big-headed and they think that, they're going to be able to beat anybody that comes in the house without trying.
I hope it'll be a wake-up call.
Oh, I think it will be.
Let's get it together, guys.
100%. I mean, you really expected to see Tom Brady on the sideline kicking puppies, but he just seemed he was just stone-faced.
I know.
And resolved. And after the game, this press conference, he didn't really show a lot of emotion. And I'm sitting there thinking, man, I'd hate to be the Panthers next week because I think this team is going to go, hey, that's not us. We got embarrassed.
I hope
we are
so.
a good team. We're one of the best teams in the league. We're playoff bound, no doubt about it. And we go out there and lay an egg like that. That's not going to happen again.
I do want to mention the press conference. It was so player speak. Like he said everything he had to say to the media.
Yeah.
The questions. Some of the questions he did not answer. The question that they asked, he just said a generic, well, we just have to execute better. Yeah. But I, for some reason, even though it's just bullshit player speak, I do find it very comforting. I'm like, oh yeah, see, they know they got to execute better. I mean, they're going to fix that by next week. It's going to be okay, guys.
That's awesome. Oh, man. That's what's kind of scary with me is that, he was answering the questions and he was almost, I wouldn't say like a robot, but he wasn't emotional. And I'm thinking, he's really having to hold back his emotions here.
Maybe. I think after 20 years of practice, it's second nature. I don't know that he's ever walked into a press conference and told the truth. Like what was really on his mind. I highly doubt that. So.
Yeah, true enough. He's definitely never walked into a press conference where he's gotten whooped like this before. I think they said some stats there and they were, he's never had a game this bad where he got beat this bad or something.
I don't know. I mean, he lost to the Dolphins a few times.
Yeah. That's embarrassing.
Yeah, the Jets probably. Like, he's fine.
Yeah, his record against his division opponents wasn't as great as I thought it was going to be. I looked it up a couple years ago.
Yeah, it's division games are just a whole different beast.
This is true. We got to remember that. Division games are a different beast. Sometimes you win, sometimes you destroy them, sometimes they destroy you. It's just, you never know. You never know. So, do we have any news?
No. I'm boycotting Buccaneers news.
I haven't really followed anything today. I've been kind of busy, but I have seen a complete mental breakdown by fans, and I hate to see that. I'm the same way, and like I said, Molly's been kind of very, very depressed all day. We were very depressed last night. It does affect you. We put a lot into this stuff, but at the same time, man, don't turn on the team. This is our team, for better or for worse. We married these. It's like a vow we took when you become a Buccaneers fan.
I want a divorce.
I see a lot of people.
You keep the kids.
It's weird. I was reading the forums and stuff, and it's almost like the people that hate Jason Light or hate Bruce Arians or hate Byron Leftwich or whatever. It's like they wait for games like this, and then they just come out in mass. It's like people are posting. I'm like, who is this person? I've never even seen this person before. And they're just like, Byron Leftwich sucks. He needs to be fired. And Bruce Arians is a horrible quarterback. He's never won he's never won anything in his career and everything. I'm like, we're 6-3, dude.
When
was the last time we were 6-3?
I know. That's true.
And it's not like we're beating scrub teams. We beat the Green Bay Packers. We beat the Raiders at their house. So, we're not a bad team. We had a bad game.
Yeah,
we'll have bad games coming up.
Exactly. I am worried about the Rams game in 2 weeks. So we'll see how this Carolina game plays out. Again, I'm not completely convinced it's the bright lights, and we play the Rams on prime time. So it's just a little concerning to me, but I am looking forward to Carolina. I'd like to get this icky taste out of my mouth and see us beat up on the kittens again.
Yeah, I think we will. I've been watching the Panthers, and they're, they're just meh.
Didn't they lose yesterday? Who did they play?
Yes, they
the
played
Chiefs.
The Chiefs. Yeah, they were beating the Chiefs.
Well, that's what the Chiefs do. They let you get up on them, and then they come back and whoop you.
The Chiefs does not look like the Chiefs we have expected to see this year. They've been
I don't know how you can say that. They did the same thing in the Super Bowl. They let the 49ers get up on them, and then they did the same thing to the Texans in the playoffs.
Man.
That's their MO. They let you get up, and then they come back.
They give you hope.
They give you
and
hope.
Dash you up against the rocks.
That would be more fulfilling, I think, to win like that.
Hey, that's what we're doing. We're getting everybody to think we suck, and then we're just gonna come out and beat everybody up. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm not worried about the Panthers. Huh?
Yay! I'm looking for Antonio Brown to have a breakout game.
I'm surprised he played as well as he did.
He did play well. Yeah.
I didn't expect him to do hardly anything. I really thought he was going to do some kick returns, but whatever. They want him to be a pass catcher. And, I've seen people say this, and, it's all speculation. Of course, we're not inside the locker rooms. We don't know this, and the people that are in the locker rooms ain't going to tell us. But, people were like, ever since AB was announced we were coming, this team seems like there's a revolt going on. They're upset that AB's coming. I don't think so, but
I mean, you just never know. It's kind of reading tea leaves there. You don't know what's going on.
Yeah, you don't know.
Nothing to base that on.
Right, exactly. I mean, the locker room might be 100 times better now because of him. We don't know. It's all speculation. But don't be too despondent, guys. It hurt. It really did. I ain't gonna lie. Oh, that was painful. We're gonna name the title of this podcast "Ouch." Mm-hmm. Hurt. Ooh, boo boo. You got boo boos. But it's one game. We're 6-3. It would have been so much better if we could have beat them and had this division that now we can't even. We have to beat them in the division to get a wild card spot. I mean, before we could tie with them, and if we would have won this game, and we could probably win the division that way. But now we got to beat them. But even if we just make it in the playoff with a wild card spot, I'll be thrilled to death. God, it's been so long since we've been in a playoff game. Molly has never seen the Buccaneers go to the playoff game. She's never experienced a playoff game with the Buccaneers. Totally different beast. Talk about nervous. It is nerve-wracking. It's great, though. It's great. I'm excited to see it. We're gone. No question about that. We're 6-3. We're 6-3. We only got to win 4, maybe 5 games.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
Yeah.
And we get to play Atlanta twice, so there's that.
Oh, man.
Well, who did they lose to? Didn't they lose? Or they won?
No, they won.
Detroit? Was it Detroit?
Oh, I think
Gosh, who was it?
Gosh, I can't remember. We watched the whole game, too.
I know.
Was it Chicago?
Yeah. Chargers?
No. I don't know. Whatever.
I don't know.
They won.
But they're still like 3-6 or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. I've got all the faith in the world in this team of ours.
They play Denver. That's who they played.
Denver. That's right.
Yeah, and beat them pretty convincingly.
Did they?
30
we've got
something and 20 something.
We've got the Panthers.
The Panthers.
The Panthers on the 15th. The Rams on the 23rd. The Chiefs on the 29th.
Oof.
And then we don't have a game until the 13th of December.
That is a rough stretch, and frankly, depending on how that goes,
it's gonna be 2
we
weeks.
might need the break.
Yeah, especially after that Rams game. So wow. Yeah, we're going to have 2 weeks. We play on the 29th. Yeah, that's our bye week on the 6th. And then Vikings at Bucks on the 13th. So, yeah, the Panthers game, like I said, not too worried about it. The Rams, Chiefs games, I think those are our big games. Then after that, we cruise the rest of the season in the playoffs. I'm not worried about it. I'm not worried about it at all. 100% I'm not. You look at the stuff that happened in that game, it doesn't happen normally. It was just, things just didn't go our way. What can you say? We dropped.
Fire everyone.
Right, I know. People talking about Jason I'm like, well, come on, look at this team we've got. Look at this team. This team is built great. Somebody was like, Jason Licht's winning loss record is 27-44. Some crap. I don't know.
Yeah, well, he had Lovie Smith. What do you want him to do?
Yeah.
That's not on him.
Yeah, he didn't get to pick Lovie Smith. And Lovie Smith had final say over the roster, too. So that was Lovie Smith. First couple years of Licht's tenureship, that was Lovie Smith's tenureship. It wasn't Licht. He was in training.
But he still gets credit for Mike Evans.
Sure, we'll do that. Yeah, he gets credit for all the good stuff.
Yeah.
Trashing the team, making drastic changes, none of that is going to help. This is just a glitch in the matrix. I am confident 100% that this team is going to be tip-top shape come the 15th when we play the Panthers.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm ready. Let's do this.
You ready? She has been so depressed all day. You can hear it in her voice. She's just like,
I was up late. I'm just tired.
You went to bed at halftime. The third quarter.
A nap on the couch is not the same thing.
You fell asleep on the couch in the third quarter.
Whatever.
Yeah.
I was resting my eyes. I wasn't asleep.
It is. I am very excited about watching this all 22. I'm very excited about it.
You're such a masochist. You love watching the games that we lose so you can figure the games that we win. You're like, there's nothing really there.
Yeah, well, seeing that, I like to see how we get beat. It's kind of like, what? That's how you get better. You get better through failing. You can't learn anything through winning. All you learn how to do is not be a poor winner or whatever they call them.
No, you don't eat the W's on camera.
Right. You don't do that.
Make things that are GIF worthy.
Failure is where you learn, man. And, I want to get this game tape, look at it. Bruce Arians said some interesting things that I want to look into. So I don't think that we got anything to worry about. I really do think that the secondary is something that's kind of broke there. Those guys, it's Jamal Dean and Sean Murphy-Bunting.
But they need to put them back however they had them before.
I don't know what's going on with those two. Dean has looked confused.
Well, I mean,
quite a few plays.
You didn't say. I mean, you said you haven't seen this, but I mean, if it's true that they switched their spots or whatever, I mean, if they're learning new jobs completely, that's going to take a while.
Yeah. Well, like I said, we do this on this defense. We just, everybody plays everybody's position at one point. So I don't know. I'll look for that on the game tape too. I didn't really recall seeing it that much in the Giants game. I mean, I don't know. It's one of the things. It's one of the issues I have with watching game film. A lot of people, the way they do it, and it's understandable. Is they go to the big plays. That's how they'll watch game film. They'll just break out the big plays, analyze the big plays, and go, well, there you go. That's what it. But there's 60, 70 plays on both sides of the ball during a game. Stuff's happening all the time. You have to get a big picture. Why was it that way when that big play happened? What was going on? Was this person, was the safety having to move over because, Dean was messing up a lot and that left a gap open on that side of the field, or safety wasn't able to cover, whatever, It's all kind of stuff that's going on. So to just break out 1, 2, 3 plays and go, well, this is the reason why the Bucs lost or won. Kind of disingenuous to me. It's kind of like stats.
Mm-hmm.
You can't judge a game just by stats. Can't judge a game just by 3 plays. So, I'm very interested to look and to see what the general theme of this overall was. I think personally, it's the run game or Vita Vea not being there has really caused an issue in the middle of our defensive line that our linebackers have to be more concerned with, and I think our secondary is our cornerbacks, Jamal Dean and Bunting in particular, are just not playing up to par. They're messing up too much. If I were to have to say that's the past couple games, that's what the issue I've seen with our defense, and I think it's just going to be exacerbated in this. Sean Payton is a good coach. I mean, I don't like the guy at all. I think he's a horrible human being. He's probably got a lot of skeletons in his closet. He probably needs to be deported somewhere, but he's a good football coach. Got a good football mind, and he probably saw some of the stuff I was seeing, and whether I'm right or wrong, I don't know, but and just took advantage of it. Our linebackers are great linebackers, no doubt about that. But they do have a weakness, and it's coverage. It's not a huge weakness. It's not like they're going to get beat all the time, but if you want to have a high percentage catch on anybody on our defense, you're going to want it to be Devin White. Because put Michael Thomas up against Devin White, you're going to get a catch. So, I think they tried to do that. They just tried to beat up on our linebackers a little bit in coverage and then take advantage of the confusion on Jamal Dean and Bunting's roles. Don't know. We'll see. We shall see. And then they got lucky that our offense couldn't mesh. It's going to be interesting to watch that offensive line. We knew that Haig and Donovan Smith, they haven't played together or at all this season. They haven't played in that set before at all. Where Ali Marpet is gone and Haig fills the spot. So Donovan Smith, Ali Marpet really helps Donovan a lot. He keeps an eye on Donovan. He's the den mother there. He tries to keep an eye on Donovan and give him help when he needs him. Haig's out there just trying to hold his own. He's not worried about Donovan.
Yeah.
Donovan was kind of left on an island there. And I want to look and see if that was the case. I saw a couple times where Donovan got beat, but I saw a couple times where Hay got beat. And it seemed like it was mainly because those two weren't working together well. So it'll be interesting to see on tape.
Allie is still in the concussion protocol as of today.
Yeah. If he doesn't get out of it, in 3 days, then he won't be playing on Sunday?
Yeah.
Something like that. I can't remember all these complex rules.
I know.
So those Brady interceptions, from what I could tell, they weren't really his fault in the sense that, they were just bad passes or whatever. He threw one on 4th down. He was basically just lobbed it up. Another one, it looked like there was a route confusion between him and the receiver. And then the other one was pure friggin' luck. How often have you ever seen a defensive lineman bat the ball to another defensive lineman who bats the ball to another defensive lineman who makes the interception?
Yeah.
I've never seen that before.
I know. They don't have the best hands on the team.
No. So, you can say the Saints beat us, which they did. They beat us. But you can also say they got lucky a lot, too. When does that happen? You intercept, a defensive lineman intercepts Tom Brady. How often does that happen? Somebody look that up in the stats.
The only interception of his career.
Yeah, I guarantee you that was only interception. Who was it? Was it Cameron Jordan that got the interception?
No,
I can't remember. Yeah. I'm sure that's the only interception he'll ever get.
He kept that ball for sure.
Oh, you know it. I intercepted Tom Brady. Yeah, his grandkids 100 years from now will be talking about that. It'll be passed down from generation to generation.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, everybody will be like, Tom Brady was the greatest quarterback to ever live. They'll be showing videos of him 50 years from now and all that. All the kids will be sitting around going, yeah, well, my granddad intercepted him. It wasn't that great. My granddad was better than he was. So, they got lucky.
Let's go with that.
All right. You are ready to wrap this up, I can tell. This energy over there.
I'm ready to get back to my morning.
Your morning?
Morning.
Oh, morning with a U.
Yes.
Gotcha. Monday morning. Yeah, don't like these games. Don't like this feeling. But a Buckeye. And like Bruce Arians said, he said this is worse on the fans. Because with the coaches and the players, by Wednesday, they've moved on to the next game. They've got to study and get ready for the next game. So, it's only 2 days of depression for them, but fans have to live through it for a whole week. I really like that he said that. I was like, yeah, cool. I like it when coaches talk about fans.
They acknowledge me.
Yeah. Yeah, me in particular. He's talking about me there. And it is, man. It's going to be a rough week. But hey, don't be proud. We're 6-3. We're 6-3, and it's not like we've been rolling over the worst teams in the league, and we've got a good team. This was just a glitch. Saints have had bad games, People ruled the Saints out. They were like, the Buccaneers are going to beat the mess out of them. So, Saints had a good game. We didn't. We got the Panthers coming up. We'll take it out on them. Sound good?
Let's do that. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
All righty, guys. That's going to wrap it up for us. Stay, wear your gear proud if you got the stomach for it this week. Go out there and tell anybody that challenges you, say, make a bet with them.
Punch them in the face.
Yeah, punch them in the face. Send a picture to Molly. She likes watching stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Try and get it on video. But make a bet with them. Say, hey, who's your team? I bet you we have a better record by the end of the year. You bet you could do that with any team in the league. Are you paying these bets? No. No. I will pay you in internet points. All right, guys. Stay frosty and keep your head up. We're going to do this. We're going to the playoffs for the first time in a long time. A lot of you fans have never even seen the Buccaneers in the playoffs. We're going to do it this year. We're going to do it. We're going to do it. But until then, go Bucs. Really? That's how you get this? I just gave that rousing speech. Not over it yet. Right. Go Bucs. Yeah, much better.